Hi, Nadia Jeksimbayeva here from Chief Reinvention Officer. I am so excited and honored to have you here today as we are launching this new platform, this new initiative. Chief Reinvention Officer is dedicated to one thing and one thing only, and that is change. Have you ever felt completely overwhelmed, perhaps even incapacitated by massive change that is coming into your life? It sometimes is fundamental, really remarkable change. Perhaps an unfortunate diagnosis in your family, or you're a business owner and you got a new competitor that is crushing it and bringing you close to bankruptcy, or as it was in the case of my family and my childhood, your entire country is falling apart. Perhaps it's something much smaller. You got a new coworker that kind of drives you crazy, or maybe there is a new route that makes a commute difficult to work, or something else happening in your life that is making it a bit difficult. Whatever you're facing, here's the news: you are not alone. Change today is happening more often and with more crushing sense and strength than ever before. Never before did we see such speed and such scale of change. Just as we climb out of one crisis, just as we get our footing back, our hold on to reality, or our connection to reality back, we are knocked down again. Again and again, change is coming into our life. And that is what Chief Reinvention Officer is about. It's about giving all of us tools, resources, support, frameworks, skills necessary so that you are able to ride the waves of change rather than being crushed by them. Now, where did Chief Reinvention come from? Where did the Chief Reinvention Officer community appear from? For that, I have to tell you my personal reinvention story. I am, for all intensive purposes, a recovering academic. Like any addiction, academia never really stops. So I used to be a professor of strategy and change management, and I worked for many years in executive education, which means that people with a lot of experience, real leaders, executives in their respective companies, came to study strategy, change, sustainability, and leadership with me. And one day, one of my students, a businessman, a president of a big company, dared me. He said, "Everything you say here sounds amazing, it's exciting, but here's the problem, it's all theory. I have no clue if what you have said have ever been tried and tested in real life. So do you dare to come into a real company and actually walk the talk?" So I was hooked, kind of my pride was on the line, and I founded a company that is celebrating 10 years today. Our Reinvention Agency works with many corporations, big and small. We also sometimes work with government, sometimes work with individuals, but most of the time we work with companies who are looking for reinventing themselves, reinventing their products, services, their policies, their leadership initiatives, and of course, along the way, I help individuals like myself, like my partners and friends and students, reinvent themselves. What happened, however, about 3 years ago, that our company got completely overbooked. We had much more demand that we could possibly meet. We started routinely saying no to our clients. And today in 2017, as we're celebrating our 10th anniversary, we say no to almost all clients. And even the clients that we had for many years, my dear partners and friends, I have to routinely say no or ask them to reduce the number of days that we have in our retainer contract. Which brought me to a realization. I guess our approach works and there is real demand in the world. And what is different is that Chief Reinvention Officer as a method is not about one thing or one hit wonder. It's all about integration. Connect the best of strategy, the best of change management. We mix in and sprinkle around a lot of work from innovation, from design thinking, from creative leadership. Sometimes all that we can bring into a company comes from the startup world. Lean startup approach, Scrum, or agile methodologies, all of them are into the mix. What's unique about us is this integrative whole system, holistic approach to reinvention. And this is what I want to bring to the world. That's why this new initiative is starting. That's why we're launching the video series, the blogs, and the social media campaign, so that we can bring these ideas, the skills, this knowledge, this tool set to the world. But then I have even more personal and a bit of a I don't want to say shameful, but a little bit of a humbling realization. I have looked at my calendar and realized that I'm spending my life in very, very close community of people. People I love dearly. My clients, if you go to my website, you can check out which companies I worked with. I love my clients. They're amazing, courageous people that I really do respect and adore. But it's a very small group of people. Whether it's in a very, very closed boardroom or an exclusive executive education classroom, my reach was pretty limited. And then I was invited to do my third TEDx talk on the topic of why everyone should reinvent themselves and their companies every 3.5 years. And that talk has now been viewed more than 100 times already, and it's been used in classrooms, in meetings, in conversation starters all over the world. And I started getting emails, I started getting phone calls, I started getting postings, all of them saying how much that talk, that 12 minutes talk, changed their life. It helped them deal with major disruption or illness. It prepared them for a new career. It prepared them for political upheaval in their country. This was something remarkably important for them. And that was just 12 minutes of my time that I spent on a stage in New Jersey. So I had this humbling experience that it's time to make these ideas radically available and make this community radically inclusive. This is why the phrase that I coined, Chief Reinvention Officer, is not copyrighted. I want you to use it. I want you to become Chief Reinvention Officer of your life. And I want every company around the world to have a Chief Reinvention Officer in their C-suite. I also want our countries to start seeing ministers of reinvention so that we become the world where reinvention is a habit, where we are not crushed, completely disassembled because of change happening, but instead we take change as an opportunity and get the best out of it. If you're that kind of person, make sure you sign up, make sure you become part of this initiative. And here's the first request for you. I'm sure you're facing real reinvention challenges in your life. Under this video, make sure you post your challenge, your personal question, your difficulty that you have with change that you would like me to help with, and I will build my video series around your real needs rather than something that I have in my head. What is your biggest reinvention challenge? Post below and we'll make sure we will answer it. Make sure to connect on Facebook, then LinkedIn, and big on Twitter. Sign up for email updates. We want to make it as big as possible and as inclusive as possible. Again, welcome to Chief Reinvention Officer. We are so happy to have you. Let's reinvent this world, because if there is one thing I know, it's time, and this world is in desperate need of reinvention. I'll see you soon.